It's a good cup of Joe. Hi, how are you all doing today? My name is Thomas, and I'm the host as well as editor-in-chief of the Austin Christian News blog/video. Today I'm going to be talking about how, as an individual, how do we seek out organizations. This is kind of a continuation of the phone interview I had with Matt, who's my associate rector of my church. We had scheduling issues, so we had to do it over the phone. So if you listened to that, I hope you did. If you didn't, I hope you can go find out. I'll probably link it in the description to that phone interview. So while that was talking more from the end of the organizational aspect of mission, I want to talk more about the individual side and how working through and with the organizations and kind of on the more personal side of missions. So me and Matt, we were talking about how as a church, how do you identify good organizations, mission outreach centers to work with? Like I mentioned, Church Under the Bridge. It's a church mission my church has been working with, run by Mission Possible in Austin. So I want to take some of the same concepts we talked about in the phone interview of Matt from a church to a personal level. So we identified good organizations versus not so good, and we talked about using resources we have and the connections we have through churches and through other organizations, Christian organizations, for conducting ministry in Austin and the Austin area city rather than the Austin city, as well as the world. And I want to take some of the same concepts and apply them to a personal level. So I guess number one, keeping with the idea that mission is ultimately about sharing the gospel, sharing the good news that God has given us, taking those ideas and putting them into a personal level. We have a community in Christ, and that is the church. So knowing people and churches in your area is probably the best start for creating this foundation to build a ministry out of. I guess going beyond the stereotypical asking for money from churches, money is as much good as the connections you have to use that money. I guess one of the main things when looking for missions and looking for people to work with and organizations and churches to work through when building up your mission, you should really know what people are hurt by. And if you go to, I went to Guatemala twice in a row for mission teams, and our team doesn't go and do our will. We work through the mission there on site because they know what the needs are. Just as much so, one thing I find really important about this blog is using the knowledge of what people don't like about the church and showing that is not what's right. If you have been hurt by the church, then that is not right. The sex abuse by the Catholic Church and the cover-ups by that is not what the church stands for. And I want to show you my love through Christ, and then how the gospel impacts my life and how you should look at the gospel rather than at the church that's putting on the mask, the false masks, using the good name for evil. So I hope that is one reason that you would pay attention to world events. I'm not Catholic personally, but I take very personal time to research, read about, interview Catholics I know personally, and because of this, I want to know how people were hurt by the church and show that it's not right. And it goes into the interpersonal idea that befriending a friend, befriending people, showing them Christ's love, will show why the gospel is worth their time in investing in getting to know the church as it should be, rather than how it was misused. So, as a church, we should find good organizations and missions. As an individual, show the love of Christ in everything we do, all we do, and then teach them the gospel.